emanating from the body, it's gonna be like samia. Just like samia happens in the body, dahika also happens in the body. This is like a general rule. It's in a proportionate. It's like proportionately true, but it's not always true. Yeah, like daraba has other reasons. We can have lots of arguments, but these are just like proportional rules that you can use to infer. They're not deductive, they're inductive. They're just ways of guessing. So dahika, what's the present tense of dahika if it follows sami'a? Yadhaku. So how do we make this sentence? I want you all to try. Hamidun. Hamidun. Thank you, Muhammad. What else?
Hamidun.
Yadhaku. Yadhaku. Fi baytuhu. Correct? No, we can't say fi baytuhu. We have to say fi bayti. Why can't I say fi baytihu? It's just for pronunciation reasons that we have to say baytihi. Good. Let's look at number 7. Number 7. Can you read it? So for your job.
I am hearing his laughter in my house.
What?
I am
hearing his laughter in my house?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
How would that sound like it?
I am hearing his laughter. This reminds me of a habit. I am hearing his laughter in my house. Let's start with I am hearing. How can we translate I am hearing in the Arabic language? How do we say he heard? Is he heard? We want to say I am hearing.
Asma'u.
Asma'u.
Wow, cool.
Asma'u.
He's on fire.
Asma'u. How do we say his laughter, guys?
His
We gotta find out how to say laughter. You guys just turned a verb into a noun.
Yeah.
Huh? Dabaha?
His laughter.
Are you getting that in the book? That's not in the book.
It's gonna start with a ya. Yadhaku. Yadhaku.
He laughed?
I don't know why it's
What are you saying? There's something wrong with it. That's a verb. We don't want the verb.
Oh.
His laughter, not he's laughing.
Oh yeah.
Laughter. Is it in your book?
Laugh, bro.
There's so many different words for it. Like,
Bro, that's the only laugh I see, bro.
I'm like, how would that for sound?
Karkara. Ha ha ha. Ha ha is one of them. Okay, so let's use. It's actually this is the word. No, it's actually. That's the word for laughter. Dhahk. Okay. There are multiple. This is the mustaq. Now you have dhahk, then you have dhahik, as Faris is saying. Dhahik, not dhahika, but dhahikun. What's different between dhahika and dhahikun?
One's a noun.
One is a noun. Which one's the noun? The dhammatain one. We also have other words in a hadith. There are many words, but I'm just introducing you to one of them because it actually pertains to fiqh, which is qahqahatun. Qahqaha is a type of laughter that is outburst, that is uncontrollable, and that verbally produces sound. Okay? That's qahqaha. So if someone does qahqaha in salah, then what happens?
His prayer is broken.
No, their prayer is not as broken. Their wudu is invalid as well. They have to go make wudu. Okay? It breaks their wudu. A type of punishment in order that you learn to control yourself. Even though there's no najasa physically, but more like a spiritual najasa that like has emanated from you. That's called qahqaha, and it's in the hadith of the Prophet because the Sahaba, they laughed at one instance. The Prophet told them to go make wudu and come back. Dhahk or dhahik doesn't necessarily mean like verbal laughter. The Prophet ﷺ, on many an occasion, narrated to dhahika, but we don't translate it as like laughter. Sometimes we translate it as just smile.
So is there another word for smile or this is it?
Yeah, we have multiple words for smile, but dhahika is like a smile that is provoked by something that is like sometimes humorous or shocking, that like invokes immense pleasure. A type of smile that's invoked by immense like outbursts of pleasure. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he was narrated as laughing, the companions described his laughter as a smile that basically so stop reading a dictionary. I'm talking. The Prophet's description of his laughter was that it exposed his dawahik. Dawahik is the plural of dahikatun. Dahikatun is the canine tooth. Because when you smile, a wide grin, what's an indication that you've like laughed? Is that someone can see your canine teeth, which are the dawahik. Okay, so the process of smile, when it was wide, it exposed his canine teeth, which are called dawahik, which are called the laughing teeth. That's what they're called in Arabic. Like, you see how the language, its naming system is in relation to the human experience, not to the medical experience. Yeah, we call these canine, we resemble dogs, because dogs have pronounced canine teeth. So in English, the naming convention is based off of like the experience of a Westerner who's reminded of a dog by the sharp teeth. But in Arabic, you're reminded by the fact that someone is happy and laughs. So names tell you a lot about what a society thinks as well. Long story short, how do we say his laugh? We'll use qahqaha in this instance because we know that this is like an outburst that he can't keep to himself. So let's say qah, and then what would I write here? What type of ta? A regular ta. Why?
Because of
why regular ta?
There is no harf jar before.
No, but why can't I write this ta?
Because there's something after it, right?
Because it's connected to a pronoun. It's connected to a pronoun. So we got to transform this into a regular ta. Because we're trying to say his laughter. How would I say his laughter?
Oh yeah.
Tuhu? Is that correct? Yes, we have to say tahu. Why do we have to say tahu?
Hearing the laughter.
Because the laughter is the object. Right? I am hearing his laughter, his qahqahatahu. Okay. Asma'u qahqahatahu, and then where am I hearing it? Fil bayti. Why not fil bayti? Why?
It's not my house.
Why not?
It's my
Why can't you say fil bayti?
Because it does not be. Because
Why can't
it's already definite with the ya.
It's because this is mudaf. Because this is mudaf. You can't say fil bayti. This is already mudaf. Bayt is mudaf. It cannot have alif lam or tanween. In my house. Fi bayti. I am hearing his laughter in my house. Any questions? Okay, can you read the next one to me?
Dang.
Your plural masculine labor is grinding wheat in the mill.
Is grinding wheat where?
In the mill.
Dang, how do you do this?
Okay. Let's try to figure out how do we say your laborer.
I like it.
In the book. Is that the word in the book? Ajirun. Okay. How do I say your laborer? If ajir is laborer, what would your laborer be? Ajiru. Ka?
Is it plural? It's plural male.
It's plural male, so how do I say it? Ajirukum. Ajir is the word for laborer. In English, laborer comes from the word labor, which means to what?
Work.
To physically exert, right? To work. In Arabic, it's ajir, which comes from which root letters? Ajr. What is ajr?
Reward.
Reward. You already see how the two languages view effort differently. One is someone that deserves to be rewarded. The other is focusing on the fact that he's just tiring himself out. Because the Prophet ﷺ uplifted the rights of laborers. He said, أعطل أجير أجره قبل أن يجف عرقه. Grant the laborer his wages before it is that his sweat dries. The ajir is someone that deserves ajr, deserves payment. And he deserves it in a timely manner. So the haqq is attached to the word. Why? Because as Muslims, our first and primary concern about anyone on planet Earth or anything on planet Earth that we encounter is, what haqq does this thing or this person have over me so that I'm not sinful? That's our worldview. Therefore,
That's probably before.
yes, of course. That's the Arabs had this in their culture as well. There's no doubt about that. But what I'm saying is, there are many words, but some of them last through history, right? We have amil, like in today's world, you use amil for someone that works. But Islamically, in our Islamic tradition, those words are not typically used.
Sometimes we call it taxi.
Ujra, because you pay them ajr. You know, it's a car that you hire. You pay the car or the owner of the car. Or you just say taxi today.
So Ujra is the person or the car?
In Sayyaratul Ujra is the actual ajr itself. Ujra is payment.
Because I've seen Ujra written on taxis.
Yeah, so it's basically Sayyaratul Ujra, the car of payment, meaning the car that you have to pay to use. That's what Ujra means. Okay, Ajir is the one that deserves the payment. So, Ajirukum, what is he doing? He's grinding wheat. How do we see? The word for grinding is Tahana Yathanu. Yathanu, what are the root letters of Yathanu? Ta, Ha, and Noon. We have some Arabic words you might know, like Tahina. Tahina is the thing that has been ground. Tahina is the sesame seed that's been ground into a paste. That's why we call it tahina. Yathanu means to grind something in like a stone mill. You've seen the stone mills? The old classical Palestinian ones? They got the animals turning them. You guys don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like that circular.
Yeah, the circular with the wooden poles that the cow or the donkeys
And
pull.
when you say tahina, is it with a ya in the middle?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Tahina. Okay, Ajirukum yathanu. What is he grinding? Wheat. How do we say wheat? Qamh. So am I just going to say qamh? Okay, let's say al. Well, we can say al. Al-qamhun.
No, it can be qamhun or al-qamh.
Yeah, that's correct. But let's put al on it. How are we going to give the ending? Yathanul qamha. Very good. In the mill, how do we say mill?
Mil.
Fil?
Fill mill.
Tahun.
Oh, yeah.
I know what it's done. Why is it masculine?
What?
Tahuna.
Oh, the wow noon here is what makes it masculine.
Isn't the mill Tahuna?
Yeah, but that is a noon with a fixed fatha. This noon can take a kasra. That's a different noon.
Also,
That's not wow noon li jam' al mudhakkar.
right, yeah, I know. I thought it was a Tahuna too.
No, it's tahun. Tahun, right? In your book as well? Yes. I'm sure it's used that way.
Why can you put an Allah in front of
Because in Arabic, al doesn't just mean da. Like al can be used before a genus when you're describing a genus. Genus just means like a type of anything. If I say al-ma, that doesn't mean the water. Al-ma can just mean I'm talking about the whole type of water. Like I'm talking about, how do you describe genus?
The concept of water.
The concept of water. So he is grinding wheat. You can say al-qamh. Al-qamh here doesn't mean the wheat. It just means the type of plant is wheat. The type of plant is wheat. It's the genus of wheat amongst the many genuses of the botanical kingdom. I don't know.
Would it become hand then
If you don't put alif lam, yeah, it become han. Okay, very good. Let's skip to the next one. We're trying to get through this today. What's our next one?
Does you want to skip it?
No. Just tell me the next one.
Khalid's friend will go to your singular male house.
Khalid's friend. How do we say Khalid's friend? Can someone help me out?
The friend of Khalid.
The friend of Khalid. How do I say the friend of Khalid in Arabic? Sahib, or what's the word for friend that they've given us? Sadiq. Sadiqun. Sadiqu lesh.
So because it is mudaf.
Because it's mudaf. Sadiqu Khalidun. Is that correct? Khalidi. Malik? That look right? No. Why not? It's a mudaf ilayh. So mudaf ilayhs are supposed to be in the jar say.
But what's different about that, brother?
Is it? Oh no, that's okay.
What's wrong, Taqi? It needs tanween. It doesn't have alif lam. We gotta say Khalid then. Sadiqu Khalidin. What is he doing? Will go. How do I say will? Specifically will. So this is not required, but I'm just acquainting you with it. So what is he doing? He will go. How do we say will go? What's the word for go? Dhahaba. What's the word for will go? Yadhabu. So let's say yadhabu. So yadhabu. Where is he going?
Your house.
To your house. So how do we say to? How do we say to? When to say to? Ila. Ila. Ila baytuka.
Yes. Baitika. I like it.
Baytuka is not right. What's wrong with that?
That's right.
Come on, I need to hear you guys. I know you know it.
Baitika.
Yes, it has to be in the jar state. Okay? It has to be in the jar state, so we have to say baytika. Are we going to change this to baytiki because there's a kasra before it?
You cannot.
I can't do that because what would baytiki mean?
Her house.
Not her. Your house when talking to a...
Right. Your female house.
Speaking to a female would be baytuki. Baytiki. We're not speaking to a woman here, we're speaking to a man. Yala baytika. Let's do our next one. Shamriz, read it to me.
Yes. We will make you, single male, a leader for the people.
Okay. We will make you a leader for the people.
Is this like similar to Adam alayhi salam?
Yeah, don't think of that.
Because it's gonna mess it up. Okay.
Don't use the Quran for help.
Okay.
It's in the Quran. We will make.
You should make this a YouTube short and not say don't use it.
Will. Don't use what?
All right. How do we say it? We will make.
We will make.
Let's just get rid of the sa for a second. Na is for we. What's the past tense of this verb? So what's the present tense? Yaj'alu. So we will make would be naj'alu. But we're not just trying to say we will make. We're saying we will make you. You. Where am I going to put the you? Naj'aluka. We will make you as naj'aluka. What's the second part? For the people?
A leader for the people.
Okay. How do we say leader?
Amir is what we was for command.
We can use imam as well. Okay. Qa'id is also correct. So the word in our book is qa'id. Correct? So let's use the word qa'id. Qa'id is written like that. What haraka would I give this? Qa'id. Qa'idun?
I'm gonna say that.
Mubashir? Qa'idan? Why?
Say it.
MashaAllah, he just has intuition,
No,
bro.
you're not.
What do you guys think this should be? Faris. Lesh.
Also, because it doesn't make sense. It's fine.
Because it's
Qa'idan is correct, but you gotta know why.
it's the maf'ul.
It's the maf'ul, it's the object.
What is being made?
What is being made?
It is the leader that is being made.
You are being made. But here's the thing. When you have certain verbs, they require more than one maf'ul. Okay? Ja'ala is one of them because ja'ala means he made blank into blank. So ja'ala means, in this context, We will make you. What will we make you to? Into a leader. So, for example, جعلت. What جعلت mean? جعلت means what? I made. Okay. جعلت القمح خبزا. I made the wheat into bread. جعلت القمح. Why is it end in a fatha?
Because it's one of the
Because it's one of the two maf'uls. خبزا is the other maf'ul. I made the wheat into bread. Yes.
Why does it doesn't make sense to me as najaluka without a scene or so forth?
Yeah, because you don't know the context. This sentence lacks the context in telling you that it's going to happen in the future. But if this were in a part of a larger paragraph, you'd understand, okay, he's not talking about right now, he's talking about what is going to transpire in the future. So context is important to understand future in Arabic, unless you put
So
scene.
when this jumla is done, it's a jumla mufida without a scene?
Yes, it is. It's still Jumla Mufida. Yes.
So we put the tanween because it is being owned. Is that? I'm confused as to why it can't just be a qa'ida.
Because there's no alif lam.
Okay.
A leader. A
Okay.
leader, not the leader.
Okay.
If it were, we are making you into the leader.
One more time, why is it not qa'idun?
Because ja'ala is a verb that gives the meaning of to make
To make something into something
A
else.
object.
into B.
I think so.
Alright? A and B are both objects.
Okay.
Okay? So I made the
It should. It has to.
wheat into bread. The word wheat and bread would both have to be in the nasab state.
Okay.
Because there's two objects to this type of verb.
Okay.
Similarly, I could say, you know,
Use
I-
can
I-
you use the bread example one more time?
I made جعلت القمح خبزا.
Okay.
Makes sense? And there are some words that require 3 maf'uls. There's some words that require sometimes even 4 maf'uls. It just depends on the verb. And there's some verbs that require 0 maf'uls. Like qama zaydun. What does that mean? Zayd stood up. You don't need an object. The sentence makes sense without an object.
Okay.
Nama Yusufu. What does that mean? Yusuf slept. You don't need an object. Because Nama Yusuf slept on its own makes sense. But some words don't make sense unless they have an object. Does that make sense? Like akala or daraba. These need something else that it's happening to. The action is happening to. So they need objects. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm just sometimes I have trouble differentiating, because a verb from whenever a verb can become a noun, sometimes it confuses me.
When can a verb become a
So
noun?
earlier when we said,
Dahik.
yeah, like is laughing.
I think it's your weakness is not the Arabic language. It's just
Okay.
identifying in English that that's not
Okay.
a verb.
Okay.
Right? His laughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the
Yeah.
sentence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear his laughter.
Yeah.
Laughter is not a verb. In English, we think of laughter as an action.
Yeah.
But laughter, you don't say he laughed.
Yeah. I
Right?
understand.
It's just a noun. It's the conclusion of laughter. It is the
Mhm.
product of laughter.
So, it said we made you, a female, into a leader.
What? Female?
No, I'm saying if.
Just give an
Oh,
example.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to make that
Yeah.
sentence, and we naj'alu he,
Yes.
but the you is also an object.
Yes, that's
But-
correct.
But because it's a pronoun,
You can't show the fact that it's in the nasab state. That's a good point. So ki at the end of a verb would be in the nasab state, but you can't see the nasab state.
Mm.
Okay? That's a good point. All right. Naj'aluka qa'idan. Qa'idan has to be written with an alif at the end. We are making you into a leader for what? Linnasi.
Okay, you do put double down. Okay. 'Cause I was like,
Linnasu?
maybe.
Linnasi. Because li is a harf jar. In the Quran, we have Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam being spoken to,
Yeah.
which is the ayah that has a similar vibe to the translation here. What's the ayah? Inni ja'iluka linnasi imaman. Ja'iluka is used there. Imam is the word used for leader in the ayah. Don't try to dissect that ayah right now, because that's an advanced concept in Nahu that won't make any sense to you right now. But the meaning is the same, effectively is the same. نَجْعَلُكَ قَائِدًا لِلنَّاسِ. Let's do our next one. And Mubashir, you were saying something, I cut you off.
No, I was just asking if there been alif at the end.
Yeah, I got you. All right, can you tell me what numbers the next one says? Shamriz, just tell me.
What about وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا?
Mm-hmm.
So, for the people.
No, for the muttaqeen.
But the noon will change.
That would be fatha there after the need.
That's a word that ends in waw noon, like muttaqoon. It's a different. That's going to be lesson number 9, inshallah. The next lesson, inshallah. We'll go over that. All right. Can you tell me the next one, Shamriz?
Yes. Are you, plural female, stopping them, plural male, from sinfulness and infidelity?
Are you? First off, let's start off with are. What is are used for in Arabic? A question. In Arabic, we have 2 particles we've learned that are used for questions. Some of them I've taught you, some of them you already knew, like a and hal. These are not interchangeable, actually. They have different uses, but in your case, they're the same.
Okay.
I'm not going into what these differences are. Let's just stick with a for now, because it's easier. There's some places where a can be used and hal can't, and vice versa. Let's look at a. Now, our next word is, are you?
Plural female stopping them.
Are you stopping?
Yeah.
Mana'a is the word we'll use because nahiya or naha actually has more difficulty as a verb. So mana'a is he stopped someone. He prevented someone. But right now we're talking to women. We're talking to plural female. The past tense is mana'a. The present tense of mana'a is what, everyone? Yamna'u. Very good. Yamna'u is he is preventing or he is stopping. We want to turn that to you are preventing. But we're talking to women. Tamna'una? You're talking to males. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. It's just against Mushtaq's nature. He just doesn't talk to women. Alhamdulillah.
He said it correctly though, you misheard.
Oh, I did? My bad.
When I'm memorizing, I'm skipping the female part because it's too much.
It's too much.
14 is too many.
Come on, ya Allah. You're going to learn 1400 with me, FYI. At least 1400. Atamna'na means are you stopping? Are you preventing? Are you preventing who?
Them, plural males.
We gotta say, are you stopping them? What's the word for them?
Home. Oh, no, home, because it's third person.
Plural male.
Why is the ain what? Because in plural in yamna'u, when you get to the plural female, there's always a sukoon on the ain. Yamna'u, yamna'ani, yamna'una, tamna'u, tamna'ani, yamna'na. Tamna'u, tamna'ani, tamna'una, tamna'ina, tamna'ani.
Or yasma'un.
It's like
Talking about you.
Then why did he say
You can with the nun thaqila, that's advanced. But then your harakas are still wrong.
That's asking a question.
It would actually be atamna'nani. You don't want to open that door. That's sarf 2.0. So atamna'na is correct. Are you stopping? Stopping them, guys. You gotta help me finish this. Atamna'na huna?
I don't know.
Atamna'na. How do we say them? Home. So where am I gonna write home? It's an attached pronoun, so I gotta put it there.
Yeah.
Atamna'na hum. Okay. Are you stopping them from what? Does it say from?
Yes.
Okay, can you all go to your word list and find the word mana'a? In your word list? There should be something in apostrophes. Is there or no? Not apostrophes, I mean colons. But is there anything in colon that tells you what harf jar to use? Okay, so we're just going to use the harf jar instead of min. We're going to use the word an.
Okay.
Okay, an can mean from as well. And mana is typically used with the word an in Arabic. We don't really say min.
And ayn also can mean on. No?
Ala.
Ala.
Sorry.
Yeah,
What's
an-
ayn used for?
What is it used for?
Besides from.
It's also used about to mean about. سألته عن الأسير. Yeah, I asked him about so and so. عن أهله.
Ayn. Yeah, okay.
So, عن أتمنعنهم عن. Are you stopping them from what?
Sinfulness and infidelity.
How do we say sinfulness?
Oh, really?
Sinfulness.
Fisk.
Here it's
It's fisk. What haraka am I going to give the end of fisk? Fiski. How am I going to pronounce this? Can someone help me out? What do I do to the noon? Why?
To join the two.
So I can't say an al-fiski? No, why? He forgot. Faris.
You were stopping it.
ليش ما يجوز أن أقول عن الفسق؟ It's called Hamzat al-Wasl. If you can skip Hamzat al-Wasl, you have to skip Hamzat al-Wasl in Arabic. So the noon will automatically receive a kasra for the sake of pronunciation. So we'll say عن الفسق. أتمنعنهم عن الفسق وال. What is the next thing? And what? Infidelity? What is infidelity?
Mine says disbelief.
I know they use it for marriage cases.
It says disbelief and infidelity.
What does infidelity
So
mean
the
though?
kuffar get tattooed on themselves.
That's ISIS.
Wal-kufri. Correct. Infidelity, to be an infidel.
Oh.
That's what
Yeah.
What is an infidel?
Kuffar.
Huh?
Kafir.
Na shukra. Means someone that's not grateful. In reality, where gratitude is due. And that's what kufr is. Kufr is a lack of gratitude. Our next one. Come on, Shamrays. Yeah.
Today I read your singular female letter.
Because ayn is a harf jar.
Fisqi wal
And then
kuffar.
kufri.
That's why I said to be kufra.
Waw is gives things a nasab state.
So why is not a huruf?
No, it's not. Waw bridges the action of whatever previously happened.
And yo means
It's carrying
Look at
on
what happened previously.
carrying on the harf jar.
The harf jar gave this, and this harf jar can now affect this because of waw. What's our next one, Shamrays?
Today I read your single female letter.
Wow, mashallah. Today. How do we say today?
Al-yawm.
Al-yawm. Just al-yawm?
Would al-an be like right now?
Yeah, al-an would be right now. But how do we say today? Al-yawm? Al-yawma. Why is it in the nasab state? Because it's telling us when an action is happening. That's a different type of maf'ul. This is called the maf'ul fihi. The maf'ul fihi tells you when an action is happening, and it automatically goes into the nasab state as well. Okay? We haven't learned about maf'ul fihi, but I'm just telling you why it's al-yawma. If I said al-yawmu, what would that mean? What would al-yawmu mean? Instead of today, it would mean the day.
Right.
But when I say today, in English, I'm telling you an action happened today.
Okay.
Right? So this is telling you when an action happened. That's why we translate al-yawma as today.
Today.
But al-yawmu means
The day.
The day.
the day. Like al-yawm.
Say something that's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Wal-yawm al-akhir. Right? You could say that. Amantu billahi wal-yawm al-akhir. Right? For example. Al-yawma. What happened today? I read. How do I say I read? Good job. Qara'at. Qara'ti. Qara'tu. Good. Qara'tu what?
Two. And it's going to be your single female. Got it right here.
Quickly. Come on, guys. Risala.
Would that be letter?
Oh,
That's
Taki.
Taki was about to say.
Dafi. We need your help. You seem to be well versed. Risala Taki. Not Taki. Taki.
Yeah, that's
Risala Taki. If my handwriting is getting harder for you to understand, let me know so I can translate the handwriting. But I will slowly shift away from writing all of these unnecessary diacritic marks. Okay? So,
okay, yeah.
this is raw. This is a scene.
Yeah.
Okay? This is, what khat is this? Qura. Roka or riqa. Okay? This is the type of scene. What is this right here?
That's the double dots.
That's the double dots. Okay? And eventually this scat will shift too. The scat will eventually become like this.
What is that?
This is like writing in.
This is khat al-riqa. This is or ruqa. This is a type of cursive Arabic. That's actually the fastest style of writing Arabic. So if you get good at this, your pen writing will improve.
Your dad probably writes like this.
This is how all Arabs write.
Your dad can write.
This is this, what I was just showing you. Okay?
Yeah.
This is what they teach in, by the way, like Arab countries. Desi countries don't teach this. In Desi countries, they teach you to write in Persian script, which is even faster.
Wow.
Right? It can be even faster. It doesn't have to be, but it can be.
How do you write that Persian script?
I'm not a khattat.
Could you move the al-yawm to the end?
Yes, you can you put al-yawm anywhere you want. قرأت اليوم رسالتك. قرأت رسالتك اليوم. اليوم رسالتك قرأت. You could say all of those, and they'll technically be correct. Let's go to our next one, Shamris.
Tomorrow I will go to her uncle's paternal.
Tomorrow I will go to her paternal uncle's house.
Yes.
Okay, does anyone know how to say tomorrow?
غدا.
Woodlands.
Ghadan in Fusha. Sometimes we also use the word what? Muhammad. Bukratan. Is that Fusha?
Is that in the Quran?
No, I don't think.
It's not. It's in the Quran though.
Yeah. It's in the Quran.
وَسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. What is bukra? Morning. Okay? So sometimes the Arabs use morning to refer to tomorrow. There's not anything wrong with that. But like when you study formally, they'll teach you ghadan for the whole day of tomorrow, bukratan for morning.
To say bukra for morning, which is very old.
Yeah. I mean, he was fasih. Seemingly. Right? Bukratan. Bukra means morning. Ghadan means like tomorrow as a whole. If someone says in the morning and they're not in the morning, like they're not talking about today, then it's by default tomorrow. So that's why the Arabs use bukra to mean tomorrow. Does that make sense? So ghadan is what we're sticking to. Tomorrow she will what? I will.
I will.
How do we say I will go? Can someone do this fast? Adhabu. Now, Faris, to answer your question, in this case, I don't have to put sa for you to understand that it's future. How do you know that?
Because
Ghadan tells you, right? So context will inform you what the verb is talking about, if it's future or current or it's like continual. Ghadan adhabu where?
إلى
Ila Beiti. Would it be al-Beiti?
No.
Why?
Because that is
Because it's the uncle's house.
Okay, so Beit Khal. Is that correct? Good, mashallah. So normally we would say Beit Khal for uncle, but we're not trying to say uncle, we're trying to say
Uncle's house.
her uncle. How do we say her? Ha. So I would say Khal Luha. But what's wrong with Khaluha?
Oh,
It's not maternal.
It's not in the jump state.
This is maternal.
it's paternal, so it should be on.
Who told me Khal?
I'm right. I just say
Yeah, that was you. What's wrong with Ammuha?
I would do those.
Amuha.
It's in the Rafa.
Ammuha's in the Rafa' state. Why can't it be in the Rafa' state?
It's mudaf ilay.
Mudaf ilay to what word?
Beiti.
Beiti. Beiti is the mudaf.
Yeah.
Am is the mudaf ilay.
And then it's also
Has to
mudaf
be-
for ha.
It's also mudaf to ha.
And
Wow.
So this is something very interesting that happens in Arabic. So let me just kind of review this idea with you real quick. Imagine if I said,
Masjid of Iraq.
okay, how would I say that in Arabic?
As
We'll just use sajada for now. So let's say sajada. Would it be as-sajadatu?
No.
Sajada too. Sajada too.
Why not as-sajadatu?
Because it's the owner.
It's the owner. Good. It's the mudaf. It's the owned. It's not the owner. It's the owned. Sajadatu, and then what would I say? What does sajadatul masjidi mean?
The carpet of the masjid.
But that's not what I'm trying to say.
Masjid's carpet.
So
you gotta drop the alif lam again.
I gotta drop the alif lam from here.
Yeah.
Why do I have to drop the alif lam?
Because if it's the owner of the
Although it's mudaf ilay, it's also mudaf. So it's gonna be in the jar state like a mudaf ilay, but it's gonna lack alif lam or tanween like a.
So would you put CD or okay.
Yeah. Al-i'rab.
Masjidi. Al-i'rab.
Can you say Sajadatul Masjid al-Iraqi?
That would mean the
Iraqi mosque.
the Iraqi masjid's carpet. But there can be an Iraqi masjid outside of Iraq.
Carpet of the masjid al-Iraq. Sajadatu.
I mean, technically, right. Right now, and from Nahu, we're just trying to learn كيف يكون المضاف مضاف إليه في نفس الوقت.
What difference will you do if غدا سأذهب or سوف أذهب versus this mean?
So it just indicates that it'll happen like soon. Yeah.
So, why? I'm just trying to understand the order here. So why would it not be Sajadatu Masjidul Iraqi?
Because this is being owned. This is the owner of this.
Okay, but that's also the owner of that, is it not?
Look, this is the owner of this. Correct. Okay. So this is an owner. It's, in other words, a mudaf ilay. Mudaf ilays have to be in which state?
Mudaf ilay has to be in the rafa or the jar state. Sorry.
Is that correct?
Yes.
This is a mudaf ilay as well, though, because it's owning this. That's why it's in the jar state.
Yeah.
But it's also mudaf to this word, which means it can't have alif lam or tanween.
Okay.
So we're going to be practicing this advanced, like mudaf and mudaf ilay, when a word is both of them, inshallah, in the near future. But the only reason I brought it up is because this is in our example as well right now. I will go tomorrow to the house of her paternal uncle. So the house is owned by who?
Paternal uncle. Her paternal uncle.
The uncle.
Yes. Sir.
Who is owned by her. So which word in this phrase is a mudaf and a mudaf ilay? Ammi. Because look, this is the owner to the house, but it's also being owned by her. Therefore, we can't say ammuha. It has to be in the jar state because it's the mudaf ilay, but it's also the mudaf to the next word. Don't worry about that if it's a little confusing. That's why we say ammiha. That's a little bit more advanced. Let's try our next one, Shamriz.
Are you, single female, angry with him?
Are you angry with him? Of course. How do we say this? Very good.
No question. How you doing?
Okay.
You are angry. How do we say you are angry in the Arabic language? What's the verb for he was angry?
You're right.
That's wrong.
You angry. So it's present.
Ghadaba is wrong. Remember, it's a human emotion. So what pattern will it be? Ghadiba, just like Samiha. Good. Ghadiba yaghdabu. Also, this Sami'a pattern is used for negative human emotions. Ghadiba is not considered a good emotion in most circumstances.
So it would be
You're right.
فرجع إلى قومه غضبان أسيا ولما رجع موسى إلى قومه غضبان أسيا. That's all.
So
I know what you're
in this
saying.
case, anger is a verb.
Anger is a verb. Ghadiba means became angry. Now we're trying to make it present tense because I can understand where your confusion is coming from, Muhammad. Here's the thing. The English language sucks. Okay? The English language here, are you angry? Anger in English doesn't have a verb form.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Anger is just an adjective. Anger is just a state. In Arabic, anger is a verb.
Okay.
In English, we can say he became angry, but how do you make it present tense? In English.
You are becoming angry.
Yeah, but nobody says that.
Yeah.
Nobody says that.
You're angry.
We just say you are, and then we put an adjective. We don't put a verb. In Arabic, things are a lot more logical because there's a verbal way to say everything. There's a way to put anything in a verb format. So we're going to use the verb form of ghadiba in the present tense, which is what? Yaghdabu, and for female it would be what? Ataghdabina.
You had it right off the bat.
Ataghdabina bihi.
With the and then him.
In the book it says sakhita for angry.
Yeah. Sakhita is actually technically what the book wants us to use. Now you can say ala.
Okay. Okay.
With him would be ala. I know in English we say,
So you can't say
I don't know.
Okay.
I would have to look into it.
We say
Okay. I know this way is correct.
Yeah.
We say alayhi.
Huh?
Would you add a who at the end or no?
Yeah, because with him. So how do I say alahu?
We would add a alayhi.
Alayhi.
Oh, he, sorry.
Alayhu we just don't say it that way. We just don't say it. For pronunciation, we say alayhi. Yeah, that would mean you and him are angry together. Because ma means you're both on the same page. You know? You're both doing an action together. We're not going to say ataghdabina ma'ahu. That would be you telling a woman that you and him are both angry at someone else. Get it? So in English we say with. In Arabic we say ala to indicate that the action is happening against someone else. So the anger is being unleashed against someone else. Make sense? I didn't say it's wrong. I just said I don't know. La adri. All right, let's go to our next one. We got to finish this off, guys.
Yes. Okay, that's the last one from this exercise.
From this exercise. Can you jump to exercise number 5?
Yes. Exercise
That was 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. Exercise 5 is passive, correct?
Is being read, single, masculine, third person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our next lesson, let me just explain very quickly what needs to be done. We learn about active verbs, like daraba. And what's the present tense of daraba? Yadribu.
Oh.
Okay? We learn about passive verbs. Like for example, instead of daraba, we would say
So are we flipping?
duriba. What's the present tense version of duriba? It's yudrabu. So how do we make a present tense passive verb? Muhammad?
You said you turn it, the ra will become a fatha.
No, but what happens first?
Dhamma on the first
and then second.
Dhamma on the first? On the prefix.
Yeah, on the prefix.
Not on the first letter of the actual verb.
Yes.
But on the prefix we put dhamma, which is the ya or the
Or the
ta or the hamza or the noon. Very good. So that takes a dhamma. What other steps have to happen in order to make something passive in present tense? So we get
Or
yudrab.
becomes fatha.
All right, now look at number 1. Number 1 says what?
is
Is being read.
Is being read. Is that passive or active?
It's present.
Is that active or passive?
Present.
Passive present tense. So what's the verb for read in present tense?
Well, present tense.
Yaqra'u. Yaqra'u means what?
He is reading.
We don't want to say he is reading. We want to say,
He will read.
no, we want to say
Is being read.
is being read. We need to turn it passive. How do we make yaqra'u passive?
And then that stays the same.
There you go. What does yuqra'u mean?
Wow, it's being read.
It is being or he is being. It is being
read by a
read.
single
or it will be read.
male.
Or it could be, it could be, it could mean it will be read. So what does yuqra'u al-Qur'anu mean?
The Quran is being read.
The Quran is being read. Yuqra'u tuqra'u as-sahifatu.
Oh, that is two.
Tuqra'u as-sahifatu.
It's one.
The scripture or the newspaper is being read.
Okay.
Because I said a female word, right? Sahifatu. Let's look at number 2.
Is being written.
Is being written.
Single masculine third person.
How can someone just guess it? Yuktabu. Very good. Is it being written? Number 3, Taki. Will be broken. Is it singular, mascular?
It is.
How do we say will be broken? Yuksaru. From kasara, which means to break. What does number 4 say? Will be cut. Qata'a is he cut. Yaqta'u is he is cutting. How do I turn it into passive? Yuqta'u. Very good. Number 6.
Oh, this is we're back to
She is being helped. Now we went from he to she. How are we gonna have to change the verb? She is singular.
Yeah.
Donsara?
That's help.
It's Dansuru. She is being helped.
Let me explain. You got it right, by the way, Shimriz.
Okay.
Nasara, the present tense of Nasara is what, everyone?
Yansuru.
Yansuru. What's the female version of Yansuru? Dansuru. Now we have to make Dansuru, which means she is helping, into she is being helped. How can we do that? Donsaru. Donsaru is correct. What's our next one?
You are being stopped.
You. Now we got to make it you. Second person, we're speaking to who?
Male.
A male. So how do we say you are stopping?
You are stopping is
That's he is stopping. Damnaru when talking to a male. Very good. So how do we change it? Dumnaru means you are being stopped. Dumnaru. Very good. What's our next one?
I am being stopped.
I am being stopped. So instead of dumnaru, it would be umnaru. Very easy change. What's our next one?
We are being helped.
We are being helped. Nasara is he helped. Yansuru is he's helping. How do I say we are helping? Nansuru. How do I make it? We are being helped. Nunsaru. Nunsaru.
You will be stopped.
I have a question.
Sure.
So, what makes these last 2 examples? What makes these passive?
We are being helped, not we are the ones doing the help.
Okay, I think I
The
understand.
help is happening to us.
Okay.
We're not the ones rendering it. Someone else is rendering the help.
So when it's third person, that's when we don't really know who is
Active and passive to the subject.
So, for example, is being read. The very first example is being read, but do we know who is doing the reading?
No, it's passive.
Okay, we don't know who's helping us. I understand. Okay.
We also don't know who's doing the reading when you say the Quran is being read, right?
But we know it's being read by a singular.
No. That's not what that singular male means. The singular male is in reference to what's being recited. So look. When I say the Quran is being read, the word is Al-Qur'anu yuqra'u. This sentence is Al-Qur'anu yuqra'u. Does that make sense right now?
Yes.
The Quran is being recited. Now, instead of Quran, let's imagine I swap that word out for a female word. Like I could say Al-Qurrasatu, the notebook.
Okay.
Now, how would I say the notebook is being recited? Al-Qurrasatu, I can't say yuqra'u anymore because Al-Qurrasatu is not a male object.
Okay.
So I would have to change yuqra'u to tuqra'u. So when you see a word, I know this is confusing because in English we have no parallel to this. In English we don't change words. In Arabic, in passive tense verbs, you have to change the female, the male in accordance to what it is that the action is happening to, not in accordance to who is doing the action. Does that make sense? For example, how do you say watch in Arabic? Sa'atun. Okay, so as-sa'atu is the watch. How would I say the watch is worn? What's the word for wear? Labisa. What's the present tense of labisa? Yalbasu. Okay, yalbasu. Now how do we make that passive? Yulbasu. But the problem is I can't say as-sa'atu yulbasu because the sa'a is female. So I have to turn yulbasu into female as well. Yeah. So do you understand why the masculine is being told to you? It's being told to you about whatever is being read, not about the one that's doing the action.
Okay.
weird. Believe me, this took me like a few months to wrap my head around. Not because like, you don't get it, but you're just not used to manipulating a verb just because it's happening to someone versus someone else. In English, it's just not intuitive to our brains. But in Urdu, it is actually. Like in Urdu, you would say kitab parhi, but you would say, like namaz parhi jata. But there are verbs that you would have to manipulate, male or female, depending on what is being done. We don't have that parallel to that in English. All right, so Eastern languages have this like feature. Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, so active.
Just let me finish with them.
So active and passive is just based on the subject, right? Whether it's
mentioned or
the
not.
Subject is mentioned or not. So
Yeah.
if the subject is doing or is being done, something being done to that.
Active is basically when the verb, think about it like this. Active is when the person doing the verb is mentioned explicitly. Passive is when the person doing the verb is not explicitly mentioned. Okay? So imagine if I told you Uzlamu. Uzlamu. What does that mean?
I was oppressed. No.
I oppressed.
Uzlimu is I am oppressed. I am being oppressed. Very good. Uzlamu. Now, if I'm being oppressed, do I know who's doing the action? You think I don't know?
You know.
I do, but why am I not saying it?
Avoid blame.
Because I don't want to point people out, because then they're going to start hating me. Right? So, in passive, that doesn't mean you don't know the doer. It just means you don't mention the doer.
The passive is also something being done to the subject instead of the subject doing something.
Yes, that's correct. That's a good way to think about it. Yeah, I am being oppressed, for example. Yes, Faisal.
You said time.
We're almost done, Patterson, in case you're
Watch. Watch had a meaning of sa'.
Yeah.
Sa'.
Yeah.
But does that also mean
Day of Judgment.
time?
Time is no.
Hour.
Tower, it can mean a portion of time.
So
Sa' can be.
Gamisar, what time is it? It can mean time. Sa' can mean hour. Sa' can mean moment. Sa' can mean clock. Sa' can mean wristwatch.
So why isn't this called?
Sa' can mean the Day
Why
of
isn't
Judgment.
this called like
Miss.
miss?
Miqat. Yeah, from time. It could literally be that, but that's just not how the Arabs use it. Like logically, it could be miqat. Yeah, from waqt. Right, the time, the tool of waqt is a miqat. Okay, but we use miqat already for a specific meaning that you do not want to confuse the two. Miqat is used for what?
The places where you going to.
Hajj and Umrah, the miqat. And then we also have miqat, which is the singular of mawaqit, which is the times.
Okay.
Not the tools of times, but the times of prayer. Mawaqitus salah.
With the passive present, it makes sense. It makes more sense when it's I or we.
But when it's he or she
when
or
it's he
it,
or
it's
she,
hard.
then
It's, I got you.
Okay.
Look, trust me, it's not foreign to me. I didn't have someone even explain this to me. I learned Arabic through Urdu, which I didn't understand. So, no, I understand where the struggles are coming from.
Okay.
Believe me.
So
We're going to conclude this section but very quickly. Why?
you single female will be stopped.
You, single female, will be stopped. How do we say will be stopped? Will stop. Yamna'u is will stop. Not tusma'u. Tumna'u. Correct. Tumna'u. What's our next problem?
It's single male are being cheated.
You are being cheated. How do we say cheat? Huh? Khada'a. Khada'a means to deceive or to cheat. Ghasha means to deceive as well. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, just saying. What's that?
Yeah, khada'u means he is cheating. Tukhda'u means you are being cheated. You are being scammed. Yes. There are many words for this, by the way. We have yukhda'u, we have yughashu, we have yughbanu. In the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, there's a companion, kana yughbanu fil biya'at. There was a man from the companion of the Prophet ﷺ who would always get scammed. Because the buyers and sellers, they know how to scam. They know how to make a deal look good. So one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith says, كَانَ يُغْبَنُ فِي الْبِيَاعَاتِ. He used to be scammed all the time when it came to sales.
What was cheating?
خَدَعَ. خدع. يخدع. No, but you. تخدع. Next one. Shamreez, help me out.
We're done. Next one.
That's it?
Right? Unless you want to do exercise 6.
No. We're going to hold off on exercise 6 out of respect for your time. Inshallah. Exercise 6 is essentially exercise number 5, but just in sentences. There's nothing difficult about it. It just takes a bit of time to look up the vocabulary words. So if I can request you all to do exercise 6 on your own, that would be of much benefit so that we can move on to more important things in our next section.